Today, we're off to see Korea's most important temple. Its history dates all the way back to before the English language was even invented. Now, that's pretty old. And in fact, this temple holds treasures so valuable that on 3 separate occasions, Japan sent their soldiers to steal them. So the history behind this temple is super cool. But on top of that, this temple is located at the base of this gigantic mountain. And I heard that when you hike up the mountain, you could find a number of these hidden temples that have unforgettable views. So, if you're into checking out some beautiful scenery and some ancient temples, then you're gonna like today's episode because we're off to Tongdosa Temple.
Hey, you're not wearing that, are you?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
She never lets me do anything fun. Our journey today takes us just outside of Busan to the neighboring city, Yangsan. From Hyundai, it's around a 45-minute drive. But you can also easily get here by public transportation. Take subway line 1 to the very last station, and from there, it's just a 25-minute bus ride away. When you arrive, you'll first pass through this 500-meter long red pine forest, which opens up to a stream that runs straight through the temple. Now, this is my first time here, so today I brought along with us a really special guest to help show us around. Can you guess who he is? You'll get to meet him in a few moments. So we just got to Tongdosa Temple, and this right behind me is the gate center. Let's go take a look. Right after the first gates, you'll approach the second set, which contains the 4 guardians of the temple. Now remember how I told you that Japan attacked this temple 3 times in the past? Well, since these big guys got here, Japan hasn't attacked this temple since. Keep up the good work, guys. Alright, so today's a special episode because I have with me right here my appa. Annyeong! He's been coming here for the past 50 years, so he knows a thing or two about this place. And after showing us around Tongdosa, he even agreed to bring us way up into the mountains to explore some of the hidden temples. So keep watching until the end. Now, you might be thinking, what makes this temple so special? Well, Korea has a group of temples called the Tri-Gem Temples. They're basically the 3 most important temples in the entire country. And this one, historically, is the most important of the 3. It was built in the year 646 AD. Now, to put its age into perspective, that means that this temple has existed over 2.5 times longer since America was first discovered, and 6 times longer since America was officially founded. So one of the main reasons why we wanted to come over to this temple is because of its really long history. And what they've done is they've actually maintained a lot of the older buildings. They're not the original ones because there were several fires that had happened over here. But each of the buildings over here were built generally around the 1700s. And you might notice that they're not as colorful as some of the other newer temples that we've been to in the past. And that's because the people over here have rather just tried to preserve the buildings from how they once were. And through that, once you walk through this temple, it feels completely different. You almost feel the culture and the history walking through here.
Wow, you're so wet.
Can you see that on camera?
I don't know, but I can see it.
Oh, I'm like soaking wet right now. I'm so hot. If you come over here to the temple, make sure to wear sunscreen. Maybe bring an umbrella. Now this structure, Daeunjun Hall, is the most important building within all of Tongdosa. Each side was designed to look like a front entrance, and this is also the only temple without the statue of Buddha, because here they have something even more meaningful. Directly behind Daeunjun Hall is the diamond altar, which is the crown jewel within this entire complex. Stored in the very center are the actual remains and relics of Shakyamuni Buddha. Now it's also because of these relics that this temple got the attention that it did from the Japanese army, and on 3 separate occasions, in 1377, 1379, and 1592, Japan sent their soldiers to steal these items, but on each attempt were unsuccessful due to the bravery and quick thinking of the Korean monks at the time. When you learn a little about Korea's history, then you'll know that this country has gone through so much pain, suffering, and struggles from being invaded by either Mongolia, China, and the worst coming from Japan. But each time, despite having smaller armies with less superior weapons, Korea always managed to bounce back. Did you know that there was even an army of monks that fought against the Japanese soldiers? Some of them probably coming from this temple right here. You know what? I've always been a huge history nerd. I always love watching like documentaries and things on History Channel. And my favorite Korean dramas are usually the historic Korean ones. And to the point where I end up driving my wife a little bit crazy by watching too many of them. And what's fun is now that I actually live here in Korea, rather than making her watch those Korean dramas, I actually get to drag her around with me to the temples themselves.
It's so wet.
I know it's all wet. It was so hot today. So we're eating our meal over here at the temple right now. I love eating bibimbap. It's kind of like comfort food for me now. It's basically just a bunch of vegetables mixed up with rice and then seasoned with gochujang sauce. And get this, if you come during lunchtime, the people here are nice enough to give a free meal to everyone that visits. Pretty sweet, right? So right behind me is Korea's first Buddhist museum, and it actually houses one of the largest collections of both Buddhist relics as well as paintings in the entire world. So this is usually where the tour would stop for most visitors, but we're about to show you 3 of the hidden temples way up in the mountains. One of the reasons why I love Korea so much is because this country has this perfect blend between old and new. They have these huge, busy modern cities, and right around them are these peaceful hidden gems that kind of make you feel like you're stepping back in time. Whether it be through religious, cultural, or historic sites, they've managed to hold on to their past, while at the same time sprint their way into the future. So when you come over here, it's important that you experience both of these worlds. But I know that once you get here, it's really easy to find yourself getting lost into Korean pop culture, shopping, cosmetics, and their delicious food. But the whole point of this video is to help open your eyes to the other parts outside of all that. Because when you spend even just half a day here, like what we did, or at any other cultural site, then you'll gain an even greater sense of appreciation for everything else that you'll get to experience over here. But at the same time, I know that due to the language barrier, it's also not easy finding your way around Korea. And that's exactly why I've made it my goal to try to help you and every other person that visits this country. So, if you found this video or any of my other videos helpful so far, then I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. Before moving to Korea, I visited this country over a dozen times during the past decade. And I've had the chance to visit most of the major cities, shopping, eating, and cafe hopping everywhere I went. But eventually, all those memories just became a blur. But some of my most memorable experiences were the ones where I got outside the big cities and into Mother Nature here. Korea is definitely one of the most beautiful countries that I have ever visited, and seeing it firsthand will make memories that will last a lifetime. So if you want to get the most out of your time spent here in Korea, then I would strongly suggest spending some time hiking up a mountain, seeing the incredible views, and exploring around some of the temples. You'll thank me later. And if you're traveling on a budget, going to places like this are all usually completely for free. Today, we spent a grand total of 2,000 won. That is literally under $2. And that was just for parking. And if you're coming here from Busan by public transportation, you'll probably spend under $10 per person back and forth. So I hope that you enjoyed spending time here with us here at Tongdosa Temple. And if you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, somewhere in Korea.